11. Liobe is returning it for the Raiders. Brevin Span good with Jake Ferguson, but the football IQ has grown this year.
Yeah, Jake Ferguson said he wanted to be intentional about the way he trained.
He's having a great year. You saw the graphic, tied for the most by any tight end in the league right now. Here's Geno Smith, and the pass is
powers down the field, and the only guy that Geno Smith really had to try to navigate then was Kenneth Murray, the linebacker, and he tries dropping on
points. Play action from Smith. Downfield and watch out. Tuck.
I guess Geno Smith just never really saw him, and I'm a little surprised by that because he was driving on this one hard. He read it perfectly front, and it's a little favorable now for Las Vegas.
Bowers didn't get his head around that pass.
Into this game was exactly what Dallas was going to try to do defensively with their defensive line. If they were going to play 5 guys across.
Smith. Lockett. First down. And a much needed first down.
It really was, and just not a great job of coverage there by Dallas. But Tyler Lockett, he was.
So again, 5th time across midfield for the Raiders. Good protection. Genty, his 3rd catch. Running the ball at all. They've thrown it 21 times. They've handed it off 4 times.
We think, they just have not tried running the football in this first half.
How about another catch for the rookie Genty? And a first
with that touchdown to Ferguson and being down 2 scores to be able to.
Well, they missed.
I agree.
Face matches, just 2 rushes. Pass tipped and picked. Intercepted by Marquise Bell. A return of 25 yards, and Bell on the play made by Kenneth Murray.
We've seen a few of those type of interceptions by Geno Smith this year.
Prescott airing it out. Pickens the target, and nearly.
By Brian Schottenheimer. Change of possession. You can catch a defense when they're not quite ready. Try to make a big play. Get the ball up just a little bit over.
Fractured its fibula in camp, and this is his first game back, and he almost had a pick. What a good play here by Tyree Wilson. Extra men on the rush. Prescott throws. A lot of contact and a flag. Max Crosby had pressure. There are 2 different fouls on this play.
Well, they're getting together right at the top of this. There's the Max Crosby coming in. Didn't see a lot there. A lot of activity between those 2. That's that.
So Brett Allen sorts through it.
Fouls in the play, both by the defense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 51. That penalty is declined.
Take another look at this action.
It was a pretty good shot, I'll say that. But WrestleMania is here next year.
Let's see Tyler Guyton.
Here's Javonte Williams. He was down by
on the field, is down by contact.
The Cowboys got on it anyway.
Really impressed with what I've seen of Javonte Williams, not only tonight, but he was on the ground before the ball came out. But just a nice job, even on that last run, just being patient, knowing where the hole was going to open.
Quad sitting on the sideline. Troy circles Max Crosby.
Yeah, he's got to make a play here.
And this one shut down.
Crosby, and it's one that he's bared really since he came here to the Raiders, and it's just not a lot of playmaking.
Only the 2nd Dallas penalty of the game. Backs him up 5. Prescott able to step into it. It's got Pickens. Good move. Nice cutback and a touchdown. Maybe for the celebration by Pickens, who jumped onto the base of the goalpost.
And it gives then Dak Prescott some time. He gets the ball to Pickens. Nice job run after the catch for the touchdown.
Extra point by Aubrey. And there's another flag down as Aubrey hits it.
Up.
Prescott 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers on the last 3 drives. And that was the longest play of the night, the 37-yard with 8 And he's got 6 catches for 101 and that touchdown.
Well, this offense has looked like what we saw through the first.
Slide. Defense, number 49, lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined, and the PAT is good.
So in kickoff by Aubrey from the 40. They did accept that offside penalty on the extra point. Early stumbles, a 3 and out and a fumble. He has spread it around and chewed up a lot of yardage.
Yeah, he really has. And he's playing good football. He's going to carve you up, and he has tonight.
Here's Mostert. Half. Sideline, nearly picked. Diving try by
Pass. Holding. Defense, number 34. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Game in that loss to Arizona. We'll go through them here in a second. On first down, Smith goes across his body and able to get it to Tucker to the 35. The Raiders do. Last game against Eric, who has really shown up here tonight.
Yeah, that's a good group, and it makes them better when they're out there on the field. We've 5 times this year they've had less than 300 yards of total offense, twice less than 200 yards of offense, and so it's not.
First down. After the completion, Bowers makes the catch. Timeout of 7. So 34 seconds remain. It's second down, and we'll welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Joe Buck, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, this is what we expected to see, quite honestly. I mean, you come into this game in Dallas, who's had a couple of hiccups the last, especially against this Vegas offense.
That's Mayer, the target. But he tore his ACL 14 months ago. He slid to the 3rd round. They got him. He's rehabbed the knee, and now here he is. He's
rehabbing these guys with ACLs. They come back typically stronger than ever.
Here's Mostert. He gets a first down, and time. Raiders, by the way, get the ball to start the second half, so they can somehow, some way
try for them just to answer and try to narrow the gap a little bit. It'd be really something if they're able to come away with a touchdown, but you know, they get the big chunks.
First down, and it's an incomplete. It goes down as an incomplete pass, and there is no flag.
That's shocking.
And a near sack.
That play, 53 for Dallas, did contact the quarterback, and they determined that affected where the ball went, so no intentional grounding.
And flag on the play, and the pass incomplete with Geno Smith and
number 42 lined up in the neutral zone.
Now they pick up 5 yards.
Replay the down.
They pick up 5 yards here with Clowney.
Second down and 5. Smith. Time runs out, and he just has to throw it away. Had to jump to be real careful to make sure they come out of here with points.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to take a shot. They cannot. What we're seeing is positive for Dallas. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. The only thing that causes you to.
By Dallas, this is an offensive line that lost Jackson Powers Johnson to IR with an ankle injury. Rodgers is inactive again and still awaits his first snaps from scrimmage in his rookie year. So playing with fire a little bit here as Smith lets it go. Incomplete with Bowers the target. Covered as Kalen Carson had coverage.
Yeah, right idea. Bowers, he's going to body him up, and he turns much like you would in basketball.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. He's 3 for 3 on the night.
We're told was a coach's decision.
That's who they are, Lisa. I mean, that's who they are. I love those guys. They play so hard. Just proud.
What have you seen so far from your guys that you want to see more of in the second half?
I think the way the defense is affecting the quarterback, that was incredible.
Second half is Aubrey pops it down to about the 8 with Laube on the return, and he's out ball in the middle of the field, get across midfield. They just haven't been able to get into the end zone.
They haven't, and they threw the ball 90% of the time there in the first, as we saw in that first half with that offensive line.
Here is a toss to Genty over the right side, and he is washed out of bounds. In there to make the stop. And as they place the ball down, it'll be a loss of 3.
Yeah, Ezraku, NFL start, and doing a lot of good things here over the last month.
Smith fires. He's got Lockett, who broke one tackle, and there to Troy alluded to just his third carry of the game. And Chip Kelly is trying to find pressure on Smith. Bowers, it's broken up, and that's Bland.
He's just locked up here on third down and plays it perfectly. Just doesn't give anything at all.
This is a real
beat pretty good a couple times by Marvin Harrison Jr., but it's been a good night for him.
Cole hits a beauty. Turpin will let it go over his head. The Cowboys start with their first possession, second half, and hand to Javonte Williams, who banged into a couple of bodies and then able to break loose for downs. They have the ball in a 15-point lead.
Well, Javonte Williams, he may set a season high tonight in rush attempts. Especially with this lead, he might get a lot more carries here in the second half.
He's got 13 so far. Crosby chasing down Prescott. Pickens is able to. He has been their best.
Yeah, he really has. He's had a heck of a night here tonight. 100 yards there in that first half receiving. And I was going to mention, Joe, it is at the wide receiver position and, of course, with what they're paying Dak Prescott. But I know they'd like to keep him.
Javonte Williams on first down. What does that mean for the rest of your team as you manage the salary cap?
Well, it's not the first time the Cowboys have been compared to the Cincinnati Bengals this year.
This year. Home date with Philly coming up, then Kansas City and Detroit. Here's Ferguson, who's got a touchdown tonight, lowers the Buccaneers, and has bounced around the last couple of years, has played well, and it's 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, he has played well defensively.
3rd down and 4. Pickens with a first down catch. Looking for a big play and a nice try, but no tackle by Lonnie Johnson, and nobody can bring a catch. 21 yards.
Well, Stokes has help on the outside right here. He's got safety help. You can't allow the receiver on the inside. And you see him turn with it by him. George Pickens had a lot to do with that, and then really good after the catch once again.
Prescott to Lipke.